Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here.
Good Wednesday afternoon. Welcome to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series. My name is Todd Abraham, and today we have got another flavorful franchise opportunity for you, and a very nice man that by the name of Jim DiPolito. And as I told him, I've never heard that last name before, and I'm 58 and I've met thousands of people either in person, by phone, or other association, and he tells me it is Italiano. And so, Jim, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So Jim has got a very, as I said, flavorful podcast. Franchise opportunity. See, my words are running together. Like I said, it's been a busy week. But what I love about this opportunity is that it's also one of the lowest priced franchises in America. And if that's not enough, Jim's going to talk about some other financial incentives that he has added to the mix to entice franchisees to come on board. And most of all, you're going to love hearing about his profit margins, which, in today's economy, that is very big. So the franchise is Lemon Love. And that's exactly what it is. It is fresh squeezed lemonade, a very colorful 30-minute setup stand. Take them to festivals, take them to any kind of a public event where they set those types of booths up and sell products or promote products. And the website is lemonlovefranchising.com, spelled just like it sounds. So, Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to launch the Lemon Love business.
So I was in a day job, and I was a maintenance and construction supervisor for 15 years for local government. And I just had to get out of that.
It sounds really boring.
Yeah. I mean, it was good for me as a young man, and it taught me a lot. So, but I wasn't living anymore. So I had to go out and live. And the best way to do that was to start. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and everything from cutting grass as a kid all the way to doing odd jobs. And so I knew I wanted to do something in my own business. So somebody said, "You should try lemonade." My sister actually said it. And I said, "All right." And then I quit my job, started a lemonade stand, and I sold my way across the country from New York. I sold lemonade everywhere.
That's
And
cool.
it was just me, a truck, a trailer with all my equipment, and that was it. I
Wow.
found staff when I got there.
That's cool.
My next destination. So, and here I am 16 years later, still crisscrossing the country, and not all the time. I spend most of my time in the New York metropolitan area or tri-state area. So 16 years later, we can't do enough events. The
Yeah.
phone rings every day, and I have to turn them down because we just don't have enough. Can't do them all.
Right.
So it's pretty obvious that we have to do something, and franchising was the answer.
It's too bad you didn't have like a map dot thing set up when you did your initial journey, so that you could have like turned that into something you published on your website. That'd be really cool. Um, so Tell us about, I know I'd mentioned, the different types of events, but you can list them a lot better than I can. I know we've got like fairs and you concerts, probably different things, but if you will list about, I don't know, 8 to 10 of them that maybe I didn't think of, or
Sure. So oddly enough, we don't do county fairs. We don't do the big fairs because the big guys go in there and they do those things. So we specialize in one day in, one day out. So we go in the same day, set up and tear down, sell. So maybe not in that order, but set up, sell,
right.
and then we do everything from street fairs to community events, um, corporate, private parties, things of that nature. So and we do 140 to 150 events a year. That's just me.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so there's so many things out there, you can do them all. So I don't know if that gives you, and we do concert venues. Those are a little different than regular one day in, one day out, but concerts and things like that.
But yeah, but like you said, we talked to the phone, you're flexible. So, it might be something that you don't do, but your franchisee might say, hey, I've got a zillion contacts in the concert business, and I've got a friend that's a roadie, and so if they want to do it, great, they can go do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to, caution people that you don't have to be in the fair, for a week. You can do this on the weekends. You don't have to, go in
Yeah.
there and set up at the fair for a whole week and, you know, take your chances.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about it. And like we had talked about on the phone, this could be a perfect side hustle for somebody who's got a good weekday job, but they're looking for something for that really quick cash flow on the weekends, and something that doesn't require a lot of uh, extraneous time constraints, because you can set this thing up in 30 minutes and be good to go. And the franchise, when you buy a franchise them, it comes with the equipment, it comes with the trailer. It's a 6x12 trailer. You can pull it behind a truck, you can pull it behind a van, you can pull it behind a janky car if you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't even need to own a car. You can go to U-Haul for
Get
real.
one of those. Get one of the. Hey, get one of those Teslas that look like futuristic robot cars. That would
That's
be cute. That would be cute. Now,
right.
is the trailer wrapped like with branding and stuff?
It is not. So it just has a logo in the bottom corner. It's very low key, and that's kind of how we like it. We like to be low key until we set up, and then you can't miss it.
Right, right. But if a franchisee did want to wrap the trailer with the lemon logo, branding, could they do that?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We can have it done for you. We have a couple trailers that are wrapped, but it's not a must.
Right.
So
Right.
that'll raise the price up a little bit if we have, But if somebody wants that, absolutely.
Right. So give us an idea of ballpark of what somebody might, or you can tell us from experience, but just hypothetical, could somebody make at a busy, like a festival we talked about here in Athens, Tennessee called Move Fest? Like I said, that thing is swamped with people for about a good 8 hours. So what sort of revenue in that one day could somebody possibly generate?
Uh, so for us, the average is $4,000 per event. So,
Wow.
of course, there's other factors. If it rains, if it's whatever's going on that day, but the average for us is 4,000 per event. So, so
That's
you can
about
go in there.
$500 an hour.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's pretty
It
good. Yeah.
sounds crazy, but it's you know people don't believe it, but it's true. So,
Well, but the thing is, you've got the numbers to prove it. It's not just something you're throwing out there as a speculative number. I mean, you actually have the financials to prove what you're talking about. Um, and so, again, we're talking with Jim DiPolito from Lemon Love Franchising. And the primary website is what, Jim?
lemonlovefranchising.com or lemonloveusa.com.
LemonLoveUSA.com. That's one I don't think that I have saved. And that's like your primary website that promotes the business, right?
Correct.
Awesome, awesome. So let's do talk about margins because we talked about pretty extensively on the phone. That's an awesome looking website, by the way. I love the colors of it are awesome. Um, what um, what talk about the margins for the business? If it's individual doing it on their own, what kind of margins are they looking at?
Sure. So my margins are anywhere from 40 to 60%. So, eh, and I employ a lot of people to do it. So if people, when I started, all that money was mine. So I would pay a couple people, and meaning I would pay, I would hire people on the road, pay them for the day, and we were good. And it wasn't that much. So,
Right.
and if you do it with yourself and your wife and your children, or something like that, you guys keep all the money. So that really expands your margins a lot more.
Yeah, but you better pay the kids, or they're really going to complain. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
it's not going to be pretty at home if you don't pay the kids for their labor of love.
Sometimes they're more expensive to pay,
Yeah,
so you might want
that's right. That's right. It's like, hey, kid, I'm putting you through college. Leave me alone.
to.
Um, so it says I'm looking at the primary website here. You got a coupon on the website. You've got lemonade. You got shop merchandise, kettle corn. So you sell more than just lemonade
On our website, we do.
on
So
your website. You do.
on our website. So in the stands, we have snacks. We have some snacks in the stands. Um, Soft pretzels, things of that nature.
Looks like cinnamon twist, maybe. Is that what I saw?
Churros,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Churros. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. All right. And then, um, so let's talk about the actual franchise opportunity because again, as a franchisor myself, a franchise consultant, and of course, owner of franchiseradio.net, and a man who understands that the economy's tight, inflation is high, but you still have a large number of people wanting to go into business for themselves. So, talk about the cost of the franchise, what's included, and then what I'd mentioned before about some of the special like financing options you're offering for some of your first franchisees.
Yeah. So what's included right now is you get a basically a turnkey business. Everything you need to open this stand and deliver a product. So we will give you all the equipment inside of a trailer. So we'll deliver this trailer right to your house, 6x12 enclosed trailer. And from that moment on, we'll show you how to set it up, and if you want to go out the next day and set it up at the park, you could do that. Start making money. So, so that's what you get for the initial offering right now is 40,000 and change. So, and that's turnkey. We have
That's
some,
very good.
yeah. I mean, and you can from that point on, you can start making cash. So there's a lot of cash that comes in through this. So you're basically from that moment on, as long as you take it out of the trailer, you can make some money.
And then as far as payment at the stands, obviously cash, yes. Do you all already have a system set up for them to take like credit cards and what have you?
Yes. So we have a credit card system, and we also do Cash App, PayPal, all these different things that integrate with that system. So any type of payment somebody can make, we'll take it.
So what kind of equipment do they actually use in the stand?
For taking payment or for
No,
actual.
no, for actual like making the lemonade and any kind of a drinks that they're doing. It's just like the juice squeezer. Like what is the different equipment that they're using?
You'll get a pneumatic. You get two pneumatic presses that squeeze the lemons, and then we have a wedger for wedging the lemons, and then there's a shaved ice machine. There's an oven for the pretzels and churros, and we also give you warmer display cabinets for the pretzels and also for the churros. So tables, rolling tables. You also get a 3-bay or a 4-bay sink. So it's a 3-bay sink with a hand wash, which every health department in the country is going to require.
That's
Um,
cool though. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
we make sure that you're compliant and you can open and feel good about it and not worry about the health department breathing down your neck. Or we'll make sure you pass because we know the tricks. There's no tricks. We'll
Right.
give you all the equipment to make sure that.
You pass all the inspections or whatever. Right. Yeah, that's good. So, what kind of a business license or registration would a franchisee need to do? Is I guess that's just kind of dependent on the state, or
Yeah, so it all depends on the state, I think. So eh, in my state, in where we do our main business is in New York. So we started out with just a DBA. And a DBA, you name your business what you want to name it. I would just say Lemon Love Tulsa or Lemon Love whatever town you're in. So you would just have to go get a DBA through your town clerk or city clerk. I'm not exactly sure how every other city works, but we'll figure it out. And that's a whole $10 usually to register.
right, right. And then even in this case, they might even want to do an LLC, which not it's not recommended for every business, but because of liability for being on the road so much, whatever, might be a good idea to of course, then they will have a registered LLC for their franchise anyway. So that's a good thing. Now, what type of insurance do you recommend other than the standard automobile insurance that they would do?
So you're going to need liability insurance. So, and this is all these things are built into this price already. So you're going to need liability insurance for $1 million to $2 million, maybe $3 million, depending on where you're going. So this can be done within $300 to $500, and that's already built um, into our package.
That's great. So now let's talk about you've got a special financing deal that you're offering for some of the first franchisees. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. Right now, you can get in on it for 0 down and 100% financing. So for less than the price of a new car, you can have a business that pays you back with 0%, 0 down and 100% financing. So you
Yeah.
can, and this thing will pay you back where a car is not going to pay you back. So
Yeah, that's right. And plus, hey, you're not going to get a very good new car for $40,000 these days. Might pray it's got four wheels on it, and maybe AC, but the way the price of new vehicles has gone up for sure. And again, like you talked about, it's great that people can buy into this and they don't have to have a special vehicle. They just it's that something can tow a 6x12 trailer, safely. And I mean, it doesn't really get and the other thing I like about it, it's not rocket science. It's not like you're having to learn how to use some fancy ice cream machine or, learn how to break down some kind of fancy ice cream machine, every time you set up and tear down. Like you said, 30 minutes to set up. How long does it take to bring it down? An hour?
yeah, and depends on how tired you are by that time. So,
And how hot it was outside. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know because Move Fest they do first or second week of June here, or somewhere in the middle of June, and it's typically pretty hot. And so I typically don't go to it because I'm not a big fan of just throngs of people. But for somebody owning a Lemon Love franchise, it would be a fantastic place to set up. What is the average cost at one of these festivals to buy a spot?
that range is all over the place. So um, you can start at 0 because some places tell you to just come and they just need you there. So
Right.
then, and I would say maybe the average is between $100 and $200 for a day. Um, but you can pay up to $1,500 for a weekend. You know,
Right.
it all depends on where you go and how much you want to spend. And sometimes people think that, oh, if I spend $2,000, they're going to put 100,000 people in front of me. Well, that might be true, but there might be 50 other lemonade stands too.
Yeah.
So, we'll help you navigate that stuff just because we've been there, done that for 16 years. So I feel like the best events are the lower priced ones, the zero. Sometimes they pay you to come because they
They
need.
need you there, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that is cool though. And two, I use AI a lot now, really a ton in the different work that I do. But that's another thing that you could use AI to do research on, depending on your area, and just say, hey, ChatGPT or Google Gemini, and literally what they can do is put in the website and say, find me the best festivals within 500 miles of my zip code where this would be a great place to set up a lemon love stand. And man, I tell you what, you'd be amazed, man. It'll give you the map, it'll give you the address, the contact. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like a search engine on steroids, to be honest.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, we were doing it the old school way when I started. So
The old map dot and
right.
the lemon love booth
Yeah.
on wheels. But no, I mean that's really a neat story, a very nostalgic story. It's like, well, I quit my good paying government job, working for the government, and I bought I started a lemonade business. I mean, who else can say that, And based on what you and I have talked about and what, Chris Connor and I talked about, you make really good money doing this. So I would say for somebody who's looking to or is tired of somebody else telling them what to do. And
Yeah.
they, especially for, like we talked about, that 100% financing, that's the first time I've heard of this. And you are franchisor number 55, I think I've interviewed on this podcast series. So if I wasn't such a busy man, I would definitely consider taking you up on your offer. Um, and even what you talked about, let's say if you did have a 2 day festival and the cost to, set up there was $500 for the weekend, but then you turned around and made $7,000 to $8,000. That's a really good margin right there.
Absolutely. The returns are pretty big. So, I mean, it is a business, so you got to be aware of what you're paying. So you have to, but we'll help you with that. You give us a call. We're a phone call away, and we'll help guide you through all of that stuff. So if we think it's too much, we'll tell you.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, all right. So now let's talk about, we did talk about on the phone, we talked about territories. So let's talk about territories. And then you liked my idea, which I'll mention after you talk about the territory that they would get when they buy a franchise.
Yeah. So the territory that they would get is based on population. So if you are in a big city, you're going to have a smaller territory. But if you're in a rural area, you're going to have a great big area. So it's based on, I believe it's based on 100,000 people.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the territory.
And the area that you stay in upstate New York, about what is the population of that area that you cover?
So the city that I live in is only 25,000, but I cover about 2 hours radius. But then I do jet off to other events that, we have events in California, Tennessee, North Carolina, Vermont. We try to hit a lot of places that were always good to us as I was bouncing across the country. So,
What part
and
of Tennessee?
Nashville, good old Nashville.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you this, Jim. If you come down to Nashville your next trip and you don't let me know that we can get together, then we're not going to be friends anymore because I'm literally about just over 2 hours away from Nashville. And my truck has twin turbo on it. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, we'll hook a trailer up to it and you can drive.
It's like, here, Todd, go make some money, but I need the trailer back when you're done. Yeah.
There you
That's cool. All right, but now we talked about for since we're just launching, you're just launching the nationwide expansion with Lemon Love. We talked about when somebody comes on board as a franchisee, that you're talking about giving them the whole state. Say if it's the state of Georgia, the state of Tennessee, until you start bringing on other franchisees in that state, and you're also open and they are available to own multiple franchise locations, right?
Absolutely. And I love that idea of they can have the whole state. I like it. The first one in the state. Uh,
Yeah.
have it until we
So you sell another franchise there. Yeah. That's a
Sure.
huge incentive. I mean, because Tennessee, my God, you've got Memphis, you got Nashville, you got Chattanooga, you got Knoxville, you got the Tri Cities with Johnson City, Kingston, and Bristol up there, which is a big NASCAR area. And I imagine somebody up there would do phenomenal with this,
Yeah.
just because of the big NASCAR influence up in Northeast Tennessee. And then, Lord, you look at Georgia, you've got Atlanta, Savannah. You got lots of medium sized cities in the state of Georgia. You've got Jekyll Island, St. Simon's Island. I mean, it's just a wide open venue. So personally, I just think somebody that again that doesn't have a lot of capital go invest in like a restaurant franchise or a home services franchise, and again something that doesn't just tax an individual on the learning curve, or as you said, and then this is another big selling point, hey, you become a franchisee with us and you get the trailer, you can literally go out the next day and make $2,000 or $3,000.
Agreed. Yeah. And get your feet wet.
Yeah,
Even if you
literally.
didn't make $3,000, right?
Yeah,
Go out there and do it. And
yeah.
the more you do it, the better you're gonna be.
Absolutely, like everything else. All right, well, if you're tuning in, we're talking to Jim DiPolito of lemonloveusa.com. The franchise website is lemonlovefranchising.com. And what you're looking at is an all-in investment here around $40,000. It's a turnkey business that literally Jim's going to deliver to your front door. He's going to show you exactly how to set it up. Now, I'll tell you what I think would be fun, Jim. Somebody buys a franchise, let's say in Tennessee, you bring the trailer to them, you get there early, you set it up, you just go ahead and set up right there in their front yard, and people just start pulling up and start buying lemonade. That'd be fun.
It happens. You'd be surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
we do that just to, when we get a new equipment. Depending on where we are, we'll go to a park and just set up. We're not there to sell, but people want to come by.
Yeah.
So
It's a colorful booth. Yeah. Like I said, you got to look at the website and look at the colors of their booth, man. It's eye catching to say the least. And, I don't know how New York's been, but Tennessee, we've had some really stretches of a couple of days here where it's been just blistering hot. I'm talking about 105 degrees, 2 or 3 days in a row. So, boy, you talk about selling some lemonade.
yeah, it's been hot and sticky up here, so it's been a good season.
Yeah. I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I don't mind the heat. Can you please do something about the humidity though?
Yeah, yeah,
And I saw the funniest comic on Facebook. It takes a lot to really just make me laugh to the point where I'm always crying. But this caption, it shows this guy driving this older model like one of those old timey race cars, had the big four wheels on each corner of the car. And that like the convertibles, like the old school 50s, 40s type race car. And the captions, Jesus take the wheel. And the next one showed like the front right wheel coming off. And he said, not that wheel, Lord.
right. That's right.
I died laughing. I thought that is hilarious. Because hey, God's got a sense of humor too. And if you're not careful and be how you pray, then that could actually happen.
Yeah, yeah. You never know.
You
I
never
never
know.
thought like that. That is funny.
Well, let's take a brief minute and let's talk about our sponsor for the Franchise Flashlight podcast series, which is Franchise Marketing Systems. If you are a business owner and you are looking to create the most professional franchise model out of your business idea, Franchise Marketing Systems is your number one choice for America and Canada. They have franchised over 700 brands, and they literally do between 10 and 12 different steps in the franchise creation, such as your franchise disclosure document, your 5-year business plan, your franchise information website. They'll help you file your federal trademark if necessary, your operations manual. And there's just so many other steps that I don't have time to cover them. But once they get everything done and it's ready to go, they're going to assign you a brand ambassador and help you promote and sell your franchises. If you are one of those business owners who has thought about it and you're ready to take that next step, call me today, Todd Abraham, 423-405-4040, and we'll schedule you for a free, absolutely no pressure consultation. And we'll let you know you're ready to go. This is how we start. Or maybe there's a few things that need to be fixed or tidied up before you will be ready, and we'll let you know that as well, because FMS is as vested in the success of your franchise once they get done creating it as you are as the person who has built your business through a labor of love. And again, and then also, if you are an entrepreneur looking to buy a franchise, we also provide that service for you at absolutely no charge. So give me a call today, Todd Abraham, 423-405-4040. Well, Jim, this is exciting just because, again, I love it because of the low price point and just all the different things that we've talked about. Who is your ideal franchisee?
There's it really runs the gamut. So as long as you can get out of bed every day and open the
Right.
trailer and drive to as long as you can unload it, you're good. So the ideal candidate can't be afraid of a little bit of hard work, but you don't have to do all the work. So you can hire it out if you want. You don't have to. This is very important. You don't have to go out and quit your job just because you buy this franchise. So you can do this on the weekends, make the money, and in 10 to 15 events, you can basically pay off your investment. So it's a pretty low barrier to entry into the food truck business, so to speak. And the person who's got a regular job who's looking for something new and they have the weekends off to do with their family, you can come do this and make yourself some money and not quit your job until you have a pipeline in front of you.
Yeah, or not quit your job until you've paid off the initial investment.
Right, right.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, but I said, wait until you have a pipeline and we'll help you build that pipeline of events. So you know that there's money coming in. You can see it. So that's what I call it, a pipeline.
Right.
So the ideal person can be a retiree, somebody who has a job that they don't want to leave just yet because they're not sure, or somebody who has a family and they just want to make enough money to take their family to Disney every year.
Or
So
an industrious college student, like we talked about on the phone.
absolutely, absolutely. So
Yep.
and we have lots of that. It's funny, more and more, because I hire college students and they're all going back to school. And I've been telling them, I think you should just keep going with this. You know how it works better than anybody.
Right.
So, there's lots of options there and possibilities for college students to grow it into a big enterprise, which, I don't think we're too small right now, but they can do
That's going to change. Yeah. Now, let's say that somebody gets their first franchise, they do really well with it, and now they're it's like second nature to them, and they're doing so good they're like, okay, I want to start a second location. So, but let's say that they want not to just buy the franchise, but maybe they want to just do a second setup. What would be the cost for that? And then what would it cost them to hire somebody to run that second setup? And I'm not talking about specific numbers, but I'm talking about margins, because I think margins it's explain it the best, because everybody knows the process to hire someone and all that sort of thing. But what kind of margins would they be looking at if they did a second setup because they were doing so good with the first one?
So I think the second setup is pretty critical. So I think if you can do two setups and afford to do two setups, I think that's the way to do it. Because most events that we do, we put not most, a good majority now. If it's a super busy event, I'll put two in that event because you just doubled your money. You just doubled it. So it's every time I put two in, I double it. But I do have other ones that go separate locations, and you're same thing. You're mitigating your risk, right? So if one
Right.
doesn't do as well, this one picks up for it, or they both do great, and you have a super great weekend or a super great day. So the cost of that for the initial for in the beginning now for first time franchisee, we will for the cost of the equipment is the best way to do that in my
Right.
opinion.
And then what would the cost of just the equipment with the trailer be alone?
With the trailer, it all depends on what we put in there. So meaning like for computer systems, for your POS. So anywhere from 16 to 21,000.
That's not bad at all. That is not
Yeah,
bad at all.
yeah.
Absolutely. But then you said the actual since you've got employer two running that second location. So instead of having you said the margin there is going to be somewhere between 20 and 40%, right?
So yeah, definitely closer to the 30-40%.
Right.
That's for sure.
That's good. That's excellent.
Yeah.
I keep seeing this shaved ice thing pop up. This like uh, um, watermelon color. That thing looks delicious, especially today because it's hot in Tennessee today again. I personally cannot wait for fall. I love fall is my favorite time of year because the humidity goes away, and of course, being in the southeast, the leaves begin to turn, and it's just such a beautiful time of year for sure. Well, Jim, I gotta say, man, it's been a lot of fun. I'm excited for you. Again, if you're somebody's listening and you really want a franchise that is going to be as turnkey as it comes at the very best price that it comes, and I never have heard of a franchisor who is willing to do 100% financing for. We didn't even talk about how many franchisees, but I imagine it might be a short list depending on once this thing begins to take off. Because, like we talked about, there's very good money and very low time consumption involved with owning a Lemon Love franchise. And Jim has been so kind to offer, the first franchisees an entire state for their territory until he sells another franchise in that state. That's phenomenal. Oh, any closing comments, Jim?
Yeah, I just want to say that people think lemonade, only sells in the summertime. You mentioned fall. Fall is my biggest time of the year.
Oh
I,
yeah.
we make our most money in September, October, a little bit into November, but we work and everybody else can work all year long. So we never stop. So we may not do shows in December every weekend, but if you want to, you can. Or you could take off for the winter and not do anything. So it's very flexible. I mean, you can go on vacation and take your stand with you. Map
Yeah,
it out.
that's right.
Map it out.
That's right. Yeah.
Say,
Yeah.
hey, I want to go to Nashville this week in the summer, and find an event. And that probably going to pay for your vacation, depending on
Yeah,
where.
that's
So
cool. And again, you're only talking about a day or two out of a week's vacation too. So
that's right.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And not to mention the connections you make, just literally having your booth open and talking to customers and it's a great family business too, because something that younger kids can work in, there's no safety risk. I mean, it's just an all around good business. So again, if you are interested, all you got to do is go to the Lemon Love franchising.com and then fill out the form, submit the information, and Jim is going to be the person that's going to be following up with you, talking to you about the business, answering any questions you might have. And you also can call me directly, Todd Abraham, at 423-405-4040. And I also can put you in touch with Jim and we can help you get started. For the first however many franchisees, I'd say jump on this quickly. 100% financing is unheard of. I've never heard of it myself, and I've been heavily involved in the franchise world for about 2.5 years now. So that's awesome. Uh, any last comments, my friend?
That's it. That's it. I think it's good for everybody. And I'm not a salesman. I'm just working my butt off.
You need some help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of opportunity there for a lot of different people, and it's a big country here, so we can.
That's right. That's right. It's still the land of the free and home of the brave and home of the lemon love franchise opportunity.
Uh,
All right, Jim, thanks so much. And listen, thank you for tuning in to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series. My name is Todd Abraham. This is an original franchiseradio.net program, and it's available on most every major podcast network, including YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/the @ symbol franchise radio. And please follow us and please help us get the word out about this awesome franchise. Until we talk again, thank you for tuning in.